right? So we looked at mixing of liquids, we looked at mixing of solids, and we looked at mixing of high viscosity materials. And how each of them could be different because of the material characteristics. How do you select a mixing equipment? The first thing is to know the material characteristics. The process setup, whether it is a batch process or a continuous process, the equipment which are upstream, the equipment which are downstream. We then need to understand what would be the mixer operating parameters. There could be products which could be sensitive to heat, friction. So the mixing parameters have to be decided in such a manner that we do not generate heat or friction, because that could lead to degradation of products. There could be applications which demand extremely high mixing accuracies to the level of closer to 98%. And there could be applications where a mixing homogeneity of 90 to 95% is good enough. Well, in food applications, mixer cleanability plays a very important role. Above all, equipment costs, that is a factor which decides the choice of the mixing equipment. We have a tabulation here where we are comparing the different kind of solid blending equipment and how we would make a choice on the solid blending equipment, the most suitable equipment, depending on the material characteristics, such as whether they are free flowing, cohesive, depending on the size of the mixer, depending on the tip speed, which is one of the operational parameters, the critical operational parameters. There could be applications which require liquid addition through spraying. We may have applications where we would want to disintegrate the lumps and agglomerates. At the same time, we would have applications where we would want to protect our materials from any disintegration or particle shear. The specific power that is required for an application, as we discussed, the homogeneity of the mix, the mixing time, and the desired product discharge. So in a lot of cases, we require almost 100% product discharge so that the contamination between the batches does not take place. We could have product changeovers which would require a complete product discharge. So there are several factors which influence the selection of a mixing equipment. As we said, material characteristics, that plays a very important role. So when you talk about liquid mixing, we generally look at the density and viscosity of the liquids, and that is good enough to specify or define the mixer parameters. But when we are handling solids, powders, flakes, granules, dough-like materials, paste, slurries, then there are several properties that need to be looked at. What are these properties? So these could be either the particle properties or the bulk properties. The particle properties include size, distribution, density, composition, structure. The bulk properties could be the flowability of materials, the bulk density, the tendency of the materials to segregate, dust generation, and rheology.